really, except when he testifies there in that picture before Congress. Ron Desantis, congressman from Florida, saying what he thought the IG will find.
Everything I know, I don't see how you could come to any conclusion other than that there was preferential treatment. I mean, they wrote a letter exonerating her 2 months before they even interviewed her. If you look at how they conducted her interview, it was a softball interview. You had other witnesses in the room. You remember when they bleach bit all the emails. There was never any follow-up for obstruction of justice. You look at somebody like Cheryl Mills, who said, oh, I have no idea she had her own server. And then you look at the emails where she's asking about Hillary's server. Did they pursue her for false statements? Of course not. So this was treated differently than other cases. I think the IG is going to substantiate that.
Speaking of being treated differently, it will be very interesting in the weeks to come how the so-called mainstream media, the left-wing media, treats this story. They've been all over Bob Mueller, wall to wall. He's going to expose collusion to the Trump administration. What if the Inspector General, doing his job quietly, the name Michael Horowitz, will that become a household name? If he reveals that a presidential candidate had a private server at her house, tried to bleach bit and delete emails, it was extremely reckless, is what they said. In actuality, it was grossly negligent, and it was all a cover-up to allow her to run for the White House. Because remember, Hillary Clinton was supposed to be president of the United States, not the loser. And if that had happened, we'd have heard none of this. So it'll be very, very interesting. I love it when an IG at the VA, we've had problems with IGs not actually doing their job. When the IG does their job, you find stuff.
It's incredibly powerful.
And this is a really interesting article, so I recommend people reading it. And two, for the media who, clearly favors Hillary Clinton and has demonstrated that during the general election, they've been critical of James Comey previously in the way that he handled the Hillary Clinton investigation. Sure. So everyone on both political sides, as well as the mainstream media, should all be looking at this Inspector General probe and should be welcoming it, because the entire job there is to make sure that there's not bias, that these investigations were handled appropriately. So everybody should be welcoming this and should be looking to that probe to see what recommendations are made.
Of course, you want to turn the page, get to a place where politics has nothing to do with why we investigate. Now, another